Spent the week doing a problem-solving job. Had these two Worcester Bosch boilers. This one on the left wasn't working. It's been replaced, and then had a new heat exchanger fitted. And not totally certain of the history, but I'm assuming that it was failing to work. I'm assuming it was assumed that it was a fault with the boiler, and the second time with the heat exchanger. When I arrived here, this wasn't working at all, wouldn't move, but it was all piped up incorrectly. So I repiped it. I've put it on two separate circuits, two separate pumps, and into a low loss header. There was no low loss header before, and instantly the boiler worked fine. So it appears to be just a hydronic issue, although I must confess I don't understand why it wasn't working. This one was working fine, that one wasn't. Repiped it as it should be, and it all started working. But that's something I find quite often, is that there's no point in trying to diagnose something until it's put in correctly. Put it right first and then look for the problems. Install corrections first, diagnosis second. So into the low loss header here. Now this is my first time working with 40, can't remember what size it is, 45 mil. I think 42 millimeter copper. So I had a little play with that. Not done anything this big before. The 35 was okay, handled that. Again, lots of these lovely European drain cocks. So that was to allow me to do a little bit of a flush, turn off that isolation valve at the top there, connect the water supply into there on the flow, and send it all over the house. Expansion vessel in there as close as possible to the low loss header, just on the returns to the boiler side there, to get our pumps as close as possible to our neutral point. Now, no pump after the low loss header, and that's because the house has got 6 underfloor heating manifolds which all draw water themselves through the mixing valves, and the hot water cylinder, which is off the same circuit, has its own pump as well. So when you want hot water, that switches on. But unfortunately, as this is doing hot water, not as a separate system and not as a priority hot water system, the boilers have to run at stupid temperatures. So I need them up there to heat the hot water. By the time the water's got up to the next floor, we've lost about 10 degrees off of the flow temperature. The boiler's showing 87. Got a little bit of mixing going on in here, so I'm getting about 70 there. Water's arriving at the cylinder just over 60. So we've got quite slow water heat up. And I did wonder if we had a bit of a bypass somewhere on this, but you'll remember there's no pump on that circuit, so it wouldn't bypass. So anyway, I saved the customer a little money. This is a low loss header I took off of another job where we fitted plate separation. Don't need the plate separation here. And yeah. Now this is 230 kilowatts, so there should be an automatic top-up unit here. Everyone's comments about that every time I go to one of these, but there wasn't one here when I arrived, and I'm not going to put one in. And if that upsets anybody, well, so be it. We ran a new waste system here for our condense. Run that out. More options for flushing here. A couple of isolation valves, a couple of European drain cocks. Beautiful, beautiful bits of kit. And up here, got a pressure relief valve for each boiler, sharing the outlet pipe. And on the manifolds here, what we've done is we've replaced all the mixing valves on every single manifold. They're DIY manifolds here. They're made out of radiator valves and mixing valves and a pump. And didn't see any reason to change them, but all the mixing valves needed changing. Now this system has, I believe, got a biological growth problem. It had like a dark brown mud in there. Bear in mind there's no radiators, and inside pump housings and stuff, in fact I've thrown the pump housing away from this pump, there looks like it looked like the side of a boat with little what they call them, grow on the barnacles. Barnacles all over the place. Saw the same thing in pipes and everywhere. And then there were deposits that were a little bit like sand and the brown sludge. The underfloor is all 10mm, and we've managed to clean and flush every single one, not a single one blocked. no problem cleaning them, no problem getting them working. And the underfloor's all back up and running now. I'm not saying that it's going to make the house very warm, to be honest. There's not enough loops and it's 10 mil, but they are working and they are getting good temperature to them. And that's it. Yeah, one of these nice little service valves for the expansion vessel from Antares. Quite nice. Antares do some nice bits and pieces, but some of what they sell is a little bit tat. Electrics a bit of a mess. I haven't had anything to do with these electrics. Why they chose to put them under the boilers, I never know. Yeah, so I've enjoyed this one. Got some insulation to do on it one day in the future. We've got to come back and do 2 more manifolds. 2 of the manifolds weren't accessible, which is why I've got a valve up here. Good old Brexit. I have to wait 5 weeks now for parts to arrive from Antares, and they only had 5 of these in stock, and we've got 6 manifolds to do. So when the 6th one arrives, we'll come back and fit this one and the other one. And I've got the carpenter to take out all the after we've got the carpenter to take out all the cupboards and stuff, so we can actually get to it. Right, pipe bending. My pipe benders. What a brilliant bit of kit. I spent a few hours the other night working out all the pipe allowances, all the bend allowances for my benders, and I've drawn up a chart. So when we came here, I thought I'd give it a go. So we actually cut the pipe to length, we marked it all out, and we bent it in the other room and walked in here and slotted both of those pipes in place just like that, just by using the maths. And they're not bad. One at the back's a little bit crooked, but this one here a little bit crooked, but those other 2 have lined up so beautifully. We stacked them on top of each other with the two clips there. So that's the new Monument benders. Very, very cool kit. Really, really like them. And I'll do a video. I'll draw out all the maths and everything that I've worked out and put it in a chart, and then I'll do a video about that one day. And why do we do the maths? Because we can. Just love it. Right, okay. Well, I'll wait to hear the comments. Hope that helped.